YouTube, welcome back to the channel. It's officially the Mutant poll night, and man, have we had a bunch of new results, which is shocking because Cosmic spoiled us with very few new results. Tonight is the night of an OG coming to number one, and I know people are going to say this is crazy because Apocalypse or Kitty Pryde should be 1 and 2 in no particular order, or maybe a particular order depending on your preferences, every time no matter what. But Archangel said, hold my metaphorical beer, because Archangel jumped Kitty Pryde and Apocalypse to number one in this poll, and I expect this to probably get more pushback than any poll I ever put out. But remember, I don't vote in this. I simply tally the votes of my subscribers, which reminds me, we are currently voting on the technical ninth spot between two pretty dang annoying defenders in Battlegrounds, Havoc and Toad. Who do you prefer to fight, Mama?
Toad.
You'd rather
Toad's
fight.
easier.
You'd rather fight Toad than Havoc, even with the regen.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well, I said there hasn't been too many major switches this week, and then Mutant came a calling. Archangel to 1, Domino to 4, Colossus to 7. And now, Toad might be jumping that 10 spot to number 9 if the results hold up. And we need one more vote to make it official. And there it is. Toad has jumped Havoc. By the way, I'm still not used to, and I don't know if I'm going to get used to this Express Arena, so I'll go to the next fight thinking that I've got time to not have it load, and then it loads. And this is going to be a huge problem when I fight somebody who's a lot better than a 4-star. Okay, so Toad has risen up the ranks so far. No. Let's see.
Well, he does have a long tongue.
And you prefer that?
I do.
Although that's not what keeps your hair shiny. Doobie Addict says, Havoc beat Toad last time in the polls. Good to see things balanced out. Doobie Addict, I'm telling you, man, somebody like Toad, the more people get their hands on him, and of course I just got a 6-star in the past couple weeks, I think the more opinions sway. But it just takes time. And when you have people from the CCP, or maybe big spenders, or people got lucky, who are talking about new champions, even if they're amazing champions like Baron Zemo, if you don't have them, it's just hard to say anything because you're just doing it off reputation more than experience. Oh, and speaking of reputation over experience, Toad was barely in the top 10 2 months ago. He right now is fending off Bishop in the latest poll, and we are 3 likes. Remember, if we get to 30 votes and it's under 10%, we let it go for another 10 votes, but if it's 10% or more, we move on. And right now it's 12% with 27 votes in, Mama.
Very interesting.
Doobie says Havoc beats Toad last time in the polls, but he would argue that he shuts down Nick Fury better than Archangel. And there you go. Wow. Toad has been riveting in this poll.
Riveting. I see what you did there.
You sounded almost entertained. Are you drunk?
Not yet.
All right, now it's time for a fun poll. Speaking of fun, Katie, you're in Paul Miller. What are you doing? Are you working on more of your documentary? I know you're not working on Capstone. Not my fault.
Katie gets an A.
For awesome.
An A in your class.
Awesome. Oh, this is the first poll where Toad has faced stiff competition. Also not something I'm used to saying. Not the documentary. I'm working on a research paper. So you love the journalism building so much that you go there to work on homework that isn't even journalism related. That means you have an addiction, and that addiction is the asbestos-filled wall of a decrepit building. Welcome to my life.
Well, the journalism building is probably the quietest one because there's nobody there.
Now you're just describing the industry. We have another 50-50 poll, our second of the night. This is getting pretty heated. Don't forget to vote, y'all. Mr. Bentley says, unfortunately, I don't have Toad. Still living vicariously through YouTube with him. That's how I was for a while. And there we go. Colossus fights back. Toad stops at number 8. Now, our first honorable mention last time was one of the best buffs of all time, OG Storm against Havoc. And Ben comes in just to say, take that, Toad. Well, okay. So be it.
Alrighty then.
Remember, y'all, last time Havoc won barely, but OG Storm comes out. Katie says, you're not wrong. Mom is right, too. No one else is here, so it's quiet, and I can study how I need to. So you've got a final in that class, I'm guessing? Mr. Bentley, Colossus crits every 70 hits. And then a interesting emoji. Oh, man, this is another close poll, y'all. Very close poll. Granddaddy said it was totally fine. That's fair. Wow. Doobie, yes and yes, but just to rank 3. Dang, Katie, it's treating you like Capstone. Good luck. Y'all, we have another switch, and that means that Havoc is now the top honorable mention, but he has fallen from safely in the top 10 to out of the top 10. And now we've got to see how high Storm goes. Mama, there's been more movement in this poll than most school dances.
Oh, I love a moving poll.
What about a OG poll? That's
along with good crits.
How's nose? Doobie says mine's rank 3, but soon it'll be my 3rd rank 4 to make me Paragon. Wow, that's exciting. You must love him a lot. Mick Sizzle's here. She says internet phrases, and Dale's laughing. We know how to have a good time.
That's right.
Don't you turn down our love of good time on this channel. Life is too short to not enjoy it. Mick Sizzle, we've missed you. How you been? How's the job search going? Also, we have another 50-50 poll. This is what makes Mutant so fascinating. I feel like there's a lot of like what the kids would say mid, but they're like upper mid, but they're still all in the same category. Franchise 7.
I hate that word, mid.
Well, to me, it's just because kids think the word middle is too long of a word to say. Because mid basically means average.
Because they're lazy.
Yeah. Earth 25, good call. We'll bring him up next. Mr. Bentley says we will be into the game. All right, so Bishop held the spot. So we're now going to do, because we can find.
Iceman.
Yeah, let's do our 2 new inclusions in this because of either they're a 6-star now, aka Wolverine, or buffed Iceman. We'll see who the community votes amongst these 2, and then we'll pit them against the top honorable mention. Caveman says, ice, ice, baby. We asked for Wolverine. We asked for Wolverine for years. Kabam finally gave us to him. He's not even a top 12 champion in this poll. Roan, people swear by the Iceman buff. And I listen to him. Granddaddy's asking to freeze Iceman out. Dollar Bill. Dollar Bill, I think people would only be voting on aesthetics if we did a red versus blue Cyclops poll. That is pretty funny, though.
They will be appearing next week when we do worst champions in the game.
Yeah, Red and Blue Cyclops are going to fight for number 1 worst champ in the game. And there you have it. Mr. Bentley, Sauron's number 15. All right, so Iceman just jumped in. Now, let's see. This will be the last thing we do for the night. Because this poll video, which we always like to do most of it off the video, is already over 10 minutes long.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh, gooey. There's something, even though I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, there's just something really cool about having Archangel be the number 1 mutant for 2 months. Doesn't that feel cool and make your soul beam?
I love my rank 4 Archangel.
And by the way, Iceman has now risen to top honorable mention status, and he might go even further than that. Poor Havoc. He was number 9 entering today. He's now squarely.
He got crushed today.
He just. And Iceman used to be top 5 mutant, and now. Again, tonight is the night where the people who are voting are just voting for the OGs, you know? Although this is a big OG. Storm. Nothing gets more OG than OG Storm. Dr. Banter says, I have Iceman all the way. Is that a metaphor or something about Iceman? Because I think you used that as a verb. Joel's back. He fell asleep. Don't worry. Stephen Bursch tells me that happens to him all the time during my broadcasts. Remember when Israel almost fell asleep and Stephen was like, oh, I nod off every night. I know.
Well, there have been times.
No, I get it. You know?
Sometimes I'm just so daggone tired.
Okay, so Iceman is now a post-buff top 10 champion. Let's just see where this goes. This is fascinating. As always, and I say this every night, but it really is true. I could not have predicted any of this. I'm curious if this is going to be the same case when we vote on the top 20 best champions in the game at the end of the week. Steven says, speaking of which. Are you nodding off right now?
I am not.
Well, I think he is. That's why he just commented that.
Wake up, Steven. I need my pool skimmed.
Oh. Well, he's got the title for it. All right, this is the closest poll we've had with Iceman and Bishop. But, sometimes there's a danger to like fall in love with the new buff. But do you all seriously think that you prefer Iceman over Bishop? Because, I mean, that's a bold statement. I also feel like this community sometimes, it's like the opposite of a healthy romantic relationship. You don't like the tried, true, and steady thing. You like the new and flashy thing that maybe doesn't stand the test of time.
Oh, of course.
You know? But we've talked about that from the beginning. We are now down to a 50-50 poll. Steven says, Mama, it's 20 till 11 here, and I get up at 4:30.
Okay.
Steven, I've always said that I am truly honored that you stay up for these. Harvey says that there's not enough playtime with the new ice yet. That could also sum up some adult beverages. All right, so Iceman lost to Bishop by 5%. We hit that. I feel kind of good about this. I know I'm going to get a ton of hate. Again, you have the trolls that don't even watch these videos, don't know how the polls work, and just wait. They're vultures. You know, they just wait to swoop in and criticize anything that they disagree with. And there's a lot to potentially disagree with about this poll. But we're going to darken the screen and move to said Excel spreadsheet to reveal our final results for Mutant Night on Thursday, May 4th. Remember, we will revisit this in July. And 2 months from now is July 4th weekend, if you can believe that.
I cannot believe that. I got to start getting fireworks.
Well, you better call Tom Hardy. All right, y'all. This is the new mutant poll for the next 2 months. Number 1, Archangel. Number 2, Apocalypse. Number 3, Kitty Pryde. Number 4, Domino. 5, Red Mags. 6, Omega Red. 7, Colossus. 8, Toad. 9, Bishop. And 10, Iceman, with the first honorable mention going to Iceman. Oh, excuse me, not Iceman. I need to update that. Basically, all I have to do is do that, and suddenly OG Storm appears. So, how do we feel about it? I gotta be honest, out of all the nights that we've done this week, I probably feel the worst about this, but at the same time, the polls were pretty conclusive, so I can't argue this is what the data was for tonight. I just feel like it's probably the most controversial of anything we've done versus what mainstream YouTubers say on their channel. So, there you go. Also, Shark in the Water says Bishop's better than Ice Cube. Well, Bishop's 9 and Iceman's 10, so.
Point taken.
I don't know what to tell you. All right, if you're watching live, stay tuned. We got a bunch of stuff to open. If not, thanks for watching.
Good night.